All right, today I'm going to show you how to write to a file using Java. And I have my project here, project 14, FileWriter. I have in my source directory, I have a single package. You can call this whatever you want. I call it com.simtekgamedevelopment.writer. And a single class, which I called application, which has my public static void main method in it. So here's my objective. Populate an array list with strings and save the data to a file. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a separate class called FileUtils. We're going to make a method called writeFile, and we're going to have two parameters, the file name as a string and the array list, that's the data that's going to be written. There's going to be no return type. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to Project, right-click, New, Class, call this FileUtils. There we go. And we'll go ahead and make our method public, void, no return type, write file, and we'll get our file name as a parameter. We'll have another parameter, which is an array list of strings. I'll just call that data. Do a Control-Shift-O to import array list. Now we are going to use the FileWriter class in Java. I'll just call it FW equals new FileWriter, and you're going to pass in the file name as an argument to constructor on the FileWriter. All right, Control-Shift-O. It's complaining. We need to surround with a try-catch. That's good. Go ahead and get rid of that comment. All right, and now FileWriters are great, but they're byte by byte. We want to buffer. We want to buffer the data when we write it out. So we're going to do this BufferedWriter, BW, new, BufferedWriter, and I'll pass in my FileWriter in there. All right, Control-Shift-O to import that. But we have to make sure that this closes, all right? We're not using it now, that's why it's yellow, but we still need to make sure it closes. So we're going to do something as of Java 7, try with resources, right? So we're going to put a parenthesis here. We're going to put a parenthesis here. And this is going to use the AutoCloseable functionality, which is an interface that is used for closing resources automatically. So that's cool. We don't have to worry about close anymore. All right, let's go ahead and write all of our data. Let's do a for loop. And this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a string line colon, and this data is basically going to go through our entire array list, element by element, assigning each string to line every time it loops through the for loop. What we're going to do is take the BufferedWriter and we're going to write that string to the file. Then we'll do a new line. Now the one problem with this is the very last line is going to be a blank line, but I'm not really worried about that. You can play around with it and see how to fix that problem. Alrighty, let's see what we got. That looks good. We have this. This is done. Let's make some test data. That's what it says down here. Populate your array list with strings and call writeFile to save the data. So I'm going to make an array list, string. I'll call it my data. New array list, open close brackets, open close parentheses, Control-Shift-O to import the package. Then I'll add some data to this. My data add, and I'll say like, I like turtles. And my data, my dog has fleas. And my data, I hate turnips. Turnips. There we go. Just some random data. Now get our FileWriter, our FileUtils. FileUtils. We want to instantiate it, so we'll make a variable to hold our object. New file utils default constructor, because we didn't make a specialized constructor. I'll just do file utils dot, what is it, write file. There we go. Let's do test.text. That's going to be the name of our file. You can give it whatever you want. And my data is going to be the data. Go ahead and save all this. Run this. Nothing looks like it happened, but it did. Let's go over here. Project, right click, and refresh. Aha. So you have a file. There we go. Double click. And there's that extra line that I said we would get. We have our data. Alrighty, so you can put this anywhere you want on your file system. You just have to use the path, right? So you go like C//. You need 2 slashes because you need an escape character. I just put that on the C drive there if I would run that now. I don't want to do that. Alrighty, so there you go. You can write files, and we had another quick overview of try with resources. Java 7 introduced that, and I will see you in the next video.